You know I had to put my mask on for this. Okay, so I'm not going to keep the mask on for the whole video, just when it's going to be necessary, when the masquerade happens. But as a romance girly, every 2 years, Bridgerton decides to bring me back to the romance girly era, and I need to discuss it. Oh my god, I do. Especially with Benedict's season. Bridgerton every 2 years manages to bring me into that giggly, lovey-dovey mood that I absolutely love. And I enjoy it so much that I feel like I need to share it to the entire world because, oh my god, it's so good. And I need to discuss it. And it has my favorite of the Bridgerton, Benedict. I do love Hyacinth, but Benedict is up there, and in the show we don't really get much of Hyacinth, so we're gonna skip past that. It's gonna be fine. Bridgerton season 4 did not disappoint whatsoever. After a shaky season 3 that I didn't like that much, and that I think the general public didn't, I was happy to see Benedict finally open up to his bisexual identity in season 3, though it was very cliche, which is bisexual people are just nymphomaniacs that just want to have sex all the time and want nothing to do with a serious relationship. And that is exactly what Benedict season 3 was giving. But this time, we get a little bit more. We get our lovely Benedict back. Lovely Benedict back. Put that on a t-shirt. So, the point of the channel now is to discuss every episode of season 4, part 1 for now. Part 2 has not released as me recording this. I do have knowledge of what happened in the books. I have a bunch of knowledge of what's to happen next and the roles of every characters within it. Though the timetables have changed for the books, so it's something to take into account. Maybe we will get surprised. We definitely all did get surprised at Benedict's change of character from the book to the show. So I think we just have a bunch of good things to look forward to, and I'm really excited about that. Let's get started, girlies, with season 4, episode 1. So the beginning of episode 1 from season 4 is complete chaos, and it's completely different to the things we've seen in the past seasons of Bridgerton. We see servants all around the place, going from kitchens to main rooms to laundry rooms, which was amazing to see. First of all, because we get a sense of how big this Bridgerton house is, as well as we do get the sense that there are a lot of people working behind the scenes. And even though the Bridgerton house is a somewhat quiet house, as we've seen in the show, there's so much going on in the background that we don't get to see, that we don't hear the noise of. Not even a single drop of water is heard from that main room that they always hang out in. How does that happen? I don't know. And now I know that there are dozens of people, like, downstairs just preparing everything so it's perfect. The main servant, I forgot the lady's name, it's going to be written here. She is amazing. And her friendship with Violet is something that is very unique and that we don't get to see much of in the show, but here we do, and I absolutely love it. She's so thoughtful. She has to think of so many stuff, and it feels like a real complementary, like, sort of relationship where they do look out for each other. Of course, the household servants are going to look out a lot more for their ladies and lords of the house, but it's still something to look forward to and a completely different aspect of the universe we've seen before. So, first scene, the Bridgerton house is waiting for, I was going to say Violet, but no, they're waiting for Eloise, John, and Francesca to come back home for the season. So I'm glad that we get to see all the Bridgerton house members back together. We get to see Penelope and Colin hang out with their baby boy, which I think is called Elliot. Very cute name. I love it. They're very cute together. They have a few scenes together that really shows how, like, a friends to lovers story is just so cute. But the one person missing from that reunion is our beloved Mr. Benedict Bridgerton. And that's because he is at his bachelor house, and Violet goes fetch for him herself because she is absolutely annoyed at the fact that Benedict does not show up to family events anymore. When she gets there, he's having an orgy with 2 ladies, and I feel like he may be his servant as well, because he kind of looks suspicious. You know that guy that makes him do his taxes and stuff? Like the Bridgerton household taxes? I feel like there's something going on in there, but I have no way to prove it, and I don't think they're going to elaborate on that. But I can see it. So Violet is super angry with Benedict, obviously, because he does not take his family responsibilities at all by just sleeping around and having a good time. Violet is very angry with Benedict, and they have this talk about how Benedict wants to have his freedom. As the second boy of the house, he should be able to do what he wants. And Violet is like listening to him. She's like so attentive. Like the music starts to be kind of cheerful and hopeful, trustworthy, and you feel like she's gonna be understanding of her son. And then she goes like, no, Benny, we're not doing that. You're gonna go find yourself a wife, please, because we need to fill the romance girlies' hopes and dreams for you to find a wife. AKA Sophie, but you don't know that yet, Benny. You don't know that, but you need her. You need Sophie in your life, okay? So then the ball starts. I'm not gonna go into detail with a few aspects of this season because I want to get through the whole stories before addressing it, and there are just some storylines that I do not necessarily care about too much. Those storylines being the Mundriches. I loved their stories in the first season, how they would rise up in society, in the town, but now they're just boring. Like their storylines are going so slow, and we get to see like 1 minute of them every episode, and nothing happens. They're just like here to talk to the queen. And speaking of the queen, the second plotline that I don't care about that much is the Penelope and Queen storyline. Like they're bickering. It doesn't do it for me. Penelope had her time as Lady Whistledown. She doesn't need to like be a pawn in the Queen's games anymore, and I think that's been kind of overdone. Yeah, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for Penelope to just go enjoy her life with her husband, because in season 3, oh my god, we did not get that. She did not enjoy herself. She was miserable with Colin, and they were miserable together, and now that she's finally married and has a child, she can't even have that. She can't be happy. What do you fucking mean? Penelope, go enjoy yourself, girly. You need your romance, because you did not have that in season 3, let me tell you. You just had a lot of steamy sex, and that was great. We love the carriage scene, and we get another glimpse of it this season. Amazing scene. We love a woman that takes over in bed. Yeah, we do. But while this masquerade ball, which, speaking of which, maybe it's time to put our mask on again. I realize that you can barely see my eyes in this mask, but look, if Benedict could see Sophie's eyes through hers, mine is totally fine, okay? So 2 hours into the masquerade ball, Benedict is away at his fun house, where he gets to have steamy romance with a boy from that house, which, okay, we're acknowledging that Benedict is bi. We're not completely getting over that. But then he arrives to the party. But before that, we get the introduction of my favorite character ever, Sophie Beck. And just so you know, I want to make my friend watch this season of Bridgerton, and he has not seen the rest of the seasons before it. And I think that reveal of Sophie's character just putting on her mask and turning away from the camera and just heading out is such a good reveal, because it makes you think, oh, maybe it's a character that people know that I don't know about yet. And then she acts kind of strange. You don't know that she's not a lady. And it's such a good reveal at the end that she is a maid, but we'll talk about that later. It's just like such a good way to bring a character that we don't know into the scene and into the light. And we get to see this masquerade ball through the eyes of Sophie, and it makes every scene of Bridgerton be a bit more fantastic and magical, because we don't notice the details, but she does. And us as the audience, through our eyes, get to see how beautiful the scenes are, how beautiful the costumes are. And it's absolutely lovely, and I think it was a good way for us and for new viewers, because I think a couple of people are going to start Bridgerton on this season, because it's a very accessible season compared to season 1. Well, compared to season 2 and 3. It's very accessible, and you don't need much background knowledge. And I'm really excited to show my friend this season. I'm taking my mask off. It's very hot underneath this. So Sophie arrives to the ball. She's all enamored with the scenery, with the ball gowns and everything. But we get the introduction of Lady Penwood and her 2 daughters, Posey and Rosamund Lee. And oh my god. When I tell you this is one of my favorite villains, and we don't get a lot of good villains in Bridgerton. She has like this kind of weird vibe with Lady Bridgerton, so you don't really know where to place her character. And oh my god, guys, I love Posey. Posey and Hyacinth Bridgerton would make such good friends. And I can't wait to see a scene with the two of them together. I hope they do have a scene together, because they would make like such good friends and such good acquaintances that I am ready for that, and I am all for that, because I relate a lot to Hyacinth. She's literally me, and I cannot wait for her season. So the pen would introduce themselves. They're great. It really sets the scene, and you can kind of tell that something is off with them, that they kind of bring a weird vibe to the ton. But then we get a scene with my two favorite characters, which are John and Francesca. There's going to be a spoiler section here because I want to talk about Francesca and John. So I'm going to put a timestamp here so that you can skip to if you don't want to get spoiled from Francesca and John's stories. So Francesca and John, they're together. I absolutely love their interactions this season. I think they're so sweet. And I fucking love John. He's such a green flag. Like we'll see in episode 4, or I think it was 3, where they sleep together and she simulates an orgasm. And I was just enamored by the way that John reassures her and like speaks to her soul. I don't know why, but that sex scene made me cry. Since when are sex scenes supposed to make me cry? I think I was just crying because I knew that John will die in the later season. So I was like, oh my god, like famous last words of a man who truly loves you, but you're not sexually attracted to him, Francesca. At least I don't think so. I'm so sad to see John go, which is why I'm not a big fan of Michaela taking so much space in their relationship as of now, when they're still developing like their love. And John in the book is supposed to be such a good man, and I feel like all of that is erased by Michaela's presence when they should be just enjoying each other and getting to learn more about each other. And that's just gonna make the season weird when Michaela and Francesca have their love stories, because I'm not ready for that yet. And concerning Eloise's book also, which is a spoiler warning for that, I think that Francesca's and Eloise's stories are gonna be tied up in one season for the sole reason that their book does not happen within a season of the ton. They all happen outside. So I feel like it would make sense to have both their storylines in one season, maybe half an episode focusing on Eloise, one on Francesca and Michaela. And I would not hate it. I think like since their books don't have a lot of actions and drama, it could make for a nice like tied up season, which I wouldn't mind. I know a lot of people would mind, and I think it may be a controversial opinion. Back to the balls. And we're still not at Sophie and Benedict meeting, but it's coming, girlies, it's coming. We get a scene between Violet and Lady Danbury's brother. I love them together. It's so steamy when they're together. Like the sexual tension, you could cut it with a knife. But what I absolutely love about their relationship is that we get finally like some representation of an older woman getting into a relationship, of her sexual desires being something that she shouldn't be ashamed of, and that's something she can be proud of, because she's very scared of accepting a romance after her husband died. She is also scared of having sex for the first time since her husband died. And it's something I think a lot of women could relate to, and I think that's good representation in media, and that as women, we are scared to be judged for our bodies, especially when we get older, dude. Once again, before before Benedict and Sophie's meeting, we get a scene between Lady Danbury's and the Queen. Lady Danbury explains to the Queen that she wants to go away from the town and visit her ancestral lands, and the Queen is absolutely reluctant to that statement, and we're gonna get more of it in the season. And I don't know how they're gonna make this storyline conclude for Agatha Danbury, because she is kind of stuck here, and she feels pity for that woman that she considers her friend. But yes, I love their relationship with each other, and I think it's gonna lead to a big message on friendship and letting go of friends to let them pursue their dreams. We are here. We are at the scene. Benedict and Sophie meeting. I wanted to regroup that whole segment together so we can just discuss the terrace scene. They meet by Benedict pretending to have found Sophie's dance card, and he just offers her a dance. Obviously, they have a bit of bickering and kind of a playful, like, sort of conversation. Us romance girlies love a woman who can stand for herself. He quickly learns that Sophie cannot dance and invites her to the terrace for a private dance lesson. And he's not forceful. She just goes there by herself because she is scared of Lady Penswood finding her and finding out that she's at the ball. And we get 8 minutes of absolute cuteness, and I have savored every single second of these 8 minutes that were offered to me. As a romance girly, I take that personally. Every stare, every touch, every kiss, every word, every flirt, every silence, I absolutely loved it. I'm saying absolutely loved it quite a lot, because this season is one of my favorites, if not my favorite, as of part 1. So they're just on the terrace having a consensual conversation.
That girl you're gonna have a consensual conversation with is already dead. You can't have a conversation with her now. That's illegal.
And Sophie explained that she's just here just to enjoy herself and have a good time. And Benedict is kind of taken aback that she doesn't have a purpose to find a husband or find a suitable suitor. And Benedict fell hard. He felt hard and first. That man's face is completely broken and on the floor. The boy is completely enamored by Sophie. As you should be, Benny. She is one of a kind. She is the girlie for you. So they're just there chit-chatting, telling each other how they don't belong in the society they're in. Her as a maid, but he doesn't know that yet. And him as the second brother who has no responsibilities except when his brother is away. I feel like since Anthony was taking all the responsibility of the household, Benny kind of had to take like the responsibility of making sure the household sticks together and is happy even in hard times. And while they're talking, Sophie steps on Benny's foot and she immediately bends down to go clean his shoes. And if that's not a subtle hint of her being a maid, I don't know what is. And when I saw that, since I knew this was a Cinderella story, I was just like, Sophie, you need to stop working for a second and just enjoy the moment of romance you're having with the man of your life. And then they continue dancing with each other, and he's about to kiss Sophie, but he just kisses her like on her temple here, near her ear. Then he takes off her glove. Hand touching in Bridgerton is like the hottest thing ever, even though there are steamy sex scenes. Hand touching. Just takes off her glove, inhales her scent on her hand. Excusez-moi. That's just gotta be like the hottest thing. So she has her glove off. She looks at him. She's about to kiss him. And then, bam! The clock strikes midnight. And that means Sophie needs to get the fuck out of here because everybody's gonna start revealing their faces and take their masks off. And she can't have that because if Lady Penswood finds her and sees her, it's the end for her. So she's about to run off to go back home. She gets a moment of hesitation. And when I tell you I gasped, I absolutely gasped. Because we love a lady that takes control here. She grabs his collar and kisses him. Kisses him hard, bro. It's amazing. 10 out of 10. Cinema. Absolute cinema. My God, when I'm telling you, I was screaming. I was being a giggly bitch. I was like, oh my God, the romance girly are gonna eat this up. I was giggly. I was happy. I was fuzzy. I was back in my romance era when I hadn't been in my romance era for 2 years since Bridgerton season 3 came out, and I was absolutely disappointed. But anyways, let's calm down. Sophie goes back home and we get the reveal that she is in fact a maid to Lady Penwood and her 2 daughters. I think, like, as someone who knew where the story was heading, I was not surprised. But for, like, someone who doesn't know, who has never seen the show before, who has not seen the previews and the trailers of the show, you might get surprised here. And I want to show this to my friend and see if he can figure out that she is a maid or not. So we get a few more scenes at the end of Eloise being on the shelf, which I think is a good segue to her relationship and to her future love story. but we also get a conversation between Violet and Benedict about how the night went, and that she has seen that he has been speaking to the debutantes. And it was such a nice conclusion to the first episode. So much happened, so much tension, so much plot just happened in one episode. We didn't even get that much plot in the entirety of Bridgerton Season 3. Part 1 was boring. This Part 1 in Season 4 has gotten me gasping, screaming, giggling, everything. It has the whole package that we did not get in Season 3. So I am very excited to be talking to you about Season 4 Episode 2. This is the first time I do a video like this, so I hope it was interesting. I hope it was entertaining for you. So I guess if you enjoyed this, stay tuned, like this video, and subscribe for more, because I will be treating the other episodes of this season as they come out and as I can record them. I will maybe not be up to speed with the regular content that people usually upload to, but I will make sure to bring some insight and some interesting facts that I think about, or theories that could be talked about as the episodes come out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you another time, maybe at a masquerade ball.